episode of Mr. Badger Talks to Utter Scum. A very, very close friend of mine today, the Mr. Timmy Bongo. How's it going, Timmy?
It's Tommy Tomski.
What?
It's Tommy Tomski. I've been on your show before talking about freakonism.
I've never heard of you. So we're here today to talk about, what was it, free orgasms?
No, that was the last one we did. We're going to talk about blacklists.
Oh, you can't call them that anymore. They're lists.
Oh, not that kind of list. Right, we're going to talk about blacklisting. It's basically blacklisting is the action of a government or of an authority figure where they compile a list of people, countries,
Sponsored by Monster.
of where people get listed, and when they're put on that list.
I've been on a list.
You have, Mr. Badger.
Yeah. I think I won. Well, I won and I lost at the same time.
Yeah, very different to a shopping list. These are lists that are compiled by people to create distrust, and for those people on the list to be avoided by the people who get sent the list. So the list gets sent off to other authorities or other entities.
And all foreign teens. All foreign teens. I am on a list with all foreign teens on it, and I am. There's me and Gary Glitter. So is that blacklisting?
That's blacklisting. So blacklisting it's a double-edged sword. They can be good, they can be bad. Most of the time, they're wholly unfair. I think, if we look at the history behind it, Mr.
History. You don't see many in the history, do you? Like when you're on that, what's the TV programme from the old day? We had there's a posh mansion. What was that one?
Little House on the Prairie.
I don't think that was a posh mansion.
No, they're very different. The reason you don't see many black people in history is because of the whitewashing of
Monster's fucking horrible. Sponsored by Monster. Hang on, I'll put a bit of vinegar in him.
Fucking hell.
Everything tastes better with vinegar, doesn't it? Oh, lovely. There we go.
Good for your genital warts.
It is. I haven't got any genitals anymore. It's just a big wart. One big wart.
If you put some on it, it'll help it retract
I like
your
it.
body.
I like it.
Keep a straight face.
So, you've got a list of black people.
No.
You don't like them.
No, well, there have been lists in the past where black people have been on those lists.
Oh, is that where the term come from then?
No, the term actually comes from back in 1960. I'll take you back to a time long ago, 1660.
I wasn't alive then.
You wasn't. I'd be very surprised if you were alive, Mr. Badger.
No.
So, around 1660, there was the restoration of the English monarchy. And there was a king, King Charles II. Now,
King Charles?
King Charles.
He's not king yet.
Well, he was about to be made king.
Right.
They killed his dad. His dad had been executed. So he created a...
I got executed once. I touched a live wire. Straight through me.
How did that feel?
He's like that. And I shtick myself.
Did you get a little bit aroused?
I would, but as I say, it's just a giant wart. Nothing happens anymore. Every now and then a little bit of fluid just comes out the top. It's more seepage than semen.
No! What have I done? So King Charles, he created this list called the List of Regicides. So he was pissed off about a whole bunch of people that had voted for his dad to be killed. I have got all of this stuff off Wikipedia. It's not proper research.
No.
But according to Wikipedia, which is a level of research that I think this show demands.
Yeah.
On this list of regicides, I'm going to read this out from here. The state papers of Charles II say, if any innocent soul be found in this blacklist, let him not be offended at me, but consider whether some mistaken principle or interest may have not misled him to vote.
So what the fuck does that mean?
Well, in short, that means that if you're not offended by the comedy routine that he was doing at the time,
Right.
then you were fine. But if you were offended by it, then you ended up on his blacklist.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so it's the opposite of what happens now.
It definitely is, yes.
Because now it's cancelled, isn't it? It's people who are actually offended at the comedy list.
Yeah.
You get cancelled. The comedian gets cancelled.
The comedian gets cancelled.
Which doesn't exist. Nobody gets cancelled, even though there's an entire Wikipedia page on it. Carry on.
So that's basically the origin. It's the first time that the words black and list were put together, and that's where they believe the origin of
They
it.
fucking weren't. There were some boats that had some quite big blacklists way back in the day. We don't like talking about that because Britain is a fair country and we never had slaves. Remember that.
I love it when you get people who are like, well, you know, we were the first to abolish slavery. Like, that fucking makes us any better than any of the other countries.
Yeah, we were also one of the first to actively encourage it. Fucking hell. And the people that just go, the Irish were slaves too. I don't think on the same levels as black people were. To be fair.
So I mean, this is the thing. There's this whole kind of atmosphere around.
Sponsored by Monsters.
And Cuprinol.
And Cuprinol. Don't drink that though, fucking hell. I mean, maybe if you put some vinegar in it, it might be alright.
Will it count as falling off the wagon if I drink Cuprinol?
I think you've fallen off the wagon and straight into the pits of hell if you drink Cuprinol. It may die. It may die, you may die. But it might dye your inside's a nice brown colour.
It might do. Well, sage, actually. This is sage.
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 says wild
time.
time.
I thought it was sage.
And you are quite well known for having a wild time in your past. Right.
Oh.
So we're talking about all these that try and get people cancelled for saying inappropriate shit. Like
Yes.
well, yeah.
Well, almost every iteration of blacklisting throughout the ages has got a negative aspect about it. So there was blacklisting, the first time it was actually first published in print was 1774.
Prince.
Not Prince.
I got a book. We got Prince. It wasn't 70. It was 1999.
It is a book.
Prince.
Well done. I like.
Is that the year 1999?
1999. Do you want to read me a page from that?
I can't read.
It's because it's music.
No, it's got some words.
You've got to sing it.
I don't. Dot. Dash. X. That's not music.
It's not. It's Morse code.
It is. I think I've just told somebody that I'm stuck in a box in Portugal.
If you're watching in Portugal, fucking feel sorry for you.
We do have international guests on this.
Do we?
Yeah, we've got a lot. It's strange. The majority of listeners are in the UK and watchers for the people on YouTube. But we've got people in America, we've got people in Canada, quite obviously. We've got a large following in Ireland, and bizarrely, also Thailand and Nepal.
Well.
So,
To be honest, I don't think you're going to get many more viewers in Ireland after that Irish slavery comment earlier. Bang, there goes half your audience.
no, the bang, the other just like bang and they're gone. That happened in Liverpool the other day in a maternity ward. Took out a lot of potential audience. But nobody innocent died, it was all just terrorists, and that's where a lot of my audience lies. They use these as promotional videos for the Taliban.
I think they watch it to see how terrified they can make a hostage situation look by just looking at the sheer facial expressions of your guests on this show.
So, we're talking about Prince released 1999 in 1774.
Yes, in 1774, Prince, the artist formerly known as, released a a number of records. But at the time, he also published in American newspapers a report about American mining towns and company towns, basically blacklisting any miners that striked.
Miners.
So anyone who went on strike.
Children.
I imagine there was some children that went down into those mines.
Yeah, went down into a deep cavern, never to return.
You know what? If they've not got any budgery guards, canaries.
I had a canary up there, wouldn't you? Yes.
To test for gas.
Oh, it's full of
leakages.
gas. Full of gas and leakage.
Then if they've run out of them, why not send a kid down there? You know, they're resilient when it comes to exposure
Make
to
sure the
toxic
kid
gases.
goes down first. That's what we.
Hell.
You said it. Blacklists, ladies and gentlemen, sponsored by Monster. So yeah, what were we on about? This is miners.
So miners. So loads of miners got put on a blacklist. All these mining companies then wouldn't employ them because they thought, well, they're gonna strike, potential to strike or cause upheaval, and those miners that were put onto that list then lost their livelihoods. So in 1774, you've got to imagine is that kind of time period where people starve easily.
Is there ever a time when people, it's really tricky to starve?
Sometimes.
I'm fed him for 4 months, what the fuck?
Well, I think the food was really shit around then, so it's if the food's a bit crap.
Not classy now, like Iceland meal deals and all that sort of stuff.
Mrs. Brown's fucking cookie mix.
A prawn ring. Num, 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 num.
Yeah, they didn't have Greggs back then as well.
No, nothing classy like we got nowadays.
So yeah, so if you had all your mining money for like panning for gold and shit like that back there, you'd have like a little family in your homestead that you'd need to feed, and obviously if you've lost your job because you've been put on a list and no one's going to employ you, then I don't know, you have to resort to other ways of making money, don't you?
I like it when people have to resort to making money by nefarious deals. You'll do anything for a quid, you know.
I was thinking more bootlegging moonshine or something like that.
Leggy boots, oh yes.
That's not what you're thinking.
And I've seen plenty of moonshine in my eyes, I tell you. Num 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 num. Which brings us on nicely to the middle section of this podcast. I don't know if you're aware, Timmy. We've got a new section for season 3, which is nearly at an end now, which is called Mr. Badger's Corner of Love. We're not in a corner, so you're safe. But
I've got exit. I've got escape plan.
Escape. There's no escaping, Mr. Badger. I know every nook and cranny of everything. So what happens is I like to get me guests on the programme, and we like to ask really important questions about the world of love, because love's important, isn't it?
It is.
So, would you say there's ever a time that someone should be blacklisted because they won't do things for you?
I don't think blacklisting is necessary. I think if someone's not going to do something for you, report them to the authorities.
What if I booked a and she wouldn't fucking do things?
Then,
surely she should be blacklisted. That's part of the contract, isn't it?
Well, that woman should then report you to the police. That's how it works, Mr. Badger.
I know the police. We're friends. It's not going to work. Do you not know how the police work?
You can't do that to acts.
To what?
So an act has a right
Not
to
an act, a
work.
Prostitute, sorry.
Oh, right.
Prostitute. I booked a prostitute and she wouldn't for me, and I was fucking livid.
Complain to, I don't know, do they have a
union?
a union or a HR? No. I don't know. Just, I don't know, if she's not done anything for you that you want her to do, just be like, alright, well, you know, I'll not pay you, have a lovely evening, let her go. It's probably the main thing, let her leave, safe and sound. And then maybe find the services of someone that does want to do what you do, but make it clear to them what they're signing up for, Mr. Patch.
Have you got a list people lovers. Especially the Blacklist. Have you got a...
I have.
Racist! Racist!
What kind of list do you mean? The blacklist is a list of... So if it was in the context of a list of lovers that were on a blacklist, that's a list of lovers that I would never want to... If you just mean a list of potential hookups, then I'm way past that point in my life where I'd even be entertaining such a thing, Mr. Badger. I am a respectable gentleman.
A racist. So... I think we've covered all we need to cover there. Let's go back to you and your infatuation with underage black children.
Somebody help me!
You can't deny it. You said it. I've got video evidence that I will edit.
So, bringing it back up to a little bit more in date, obviously there was some blacklists over the world wars. You got one made in the First World War, which is on Wikipedia. I could find it, but I don't want to read loads off my phone. And then you got one made by the SS for all there was one that was made...
Stan's Supermarkets.
Not Stan's Supermarkets, so SS, I think stands for Sturmbannführer, I can't remember, it's the Nazis.
The Nazis!
The Nazis.
Hello to all my followers.
No. Right, the Nazis are bad people, Mr. Badger. If you've got Nazis following you as part of your audience share, you probably want to rethink your content.
Nazis. No, not Nazis. Sorry, the people who look after kids. Nannies. That's a lot of my audience. Hello.
What nannies are watching this whilst they're looking after kids?
Very bad ones. But they are normally of a German descent, so they might be both. We don't know.
Just imagine a nanny just going, right, just have this tablet, and Mr. Badger talks all the scum. I'm going to go out for a can or two.
Oh no, the nannies watch it whilst the children die. One of them, one of my biggest fans is that lady who had Baby P. Do you remember Baby P?
Oh. No.
Anyway, sponsored by Monster and Cuprinol. So we've got to the Nazis, the what do you call them? The SSS?
The SS, Sturmbannführers. I don't know what the first S is, I just know Sturmbannführers.
Super. It was when they did it on the Super Nintendo, not the regular Nintendo. They put Super before it.
Don't mention Super.
No?
Oh.
Why?
Super strength.
Oh, tenants! I can't stand people that drink weird shit full of chemicals.
Right, so then, moving a little bit on, after the Second World War, we got, there's a chap called, I think he was McCarthy in America. I can't remember what his first name, it was all after the kind of, so you got, the CIA had a vested interest in kicking communism out of America, and part of their worry about that was that the communists had infiltrated Hollywood. Do you remember Hollywood?
I remember Hollywood very well. I wouldn't say it was communism that was trouble in Hollywood. Mr. Weinstein could tell us a lot about what was the trouble in Hollywood back in the day.
You had a bigger problem with child stars.
Yeah. There's a reason why Macaulay Culkin went off the rails. It was when we did Home Alone 7. Mr. Badger's Backdoor Invasion. That was direct to video, available from Mr. Badger's website.
So, so a bunch of people in Hollywood, writers specifically, but a lot of actors got blacklisted, and they lost. As I say, usually blacklisting results in a loss of livelihoods, people not being able to make money. Luckily, food was a little bit nicer at that point, so a lot of them did survive all right. But still, a lot of them didn't work in Hollywood for years and years and years and years. And then there's like a film called Trumbo.
Trombone?
No, Trumbo.
A dirty trombone.
What's that guy from Breaking Bad's in it? What's his name? I can't remember.
Clint Eastwood.
And they basically, they Basically, a blacklist is there to fuck people, but it's usually compiled by either one person or a small group of people.
It's starting to sound familiar. Hello.
You can't mention that name, bleep that name out on the edit. Is this live?
Maybe in the audience. I'm meant to be within 20 metres of that.
We're back.
But essentially, a blacklist is, it's something that damages careers. And some people that are on blacklist, they probably should have their careers damaged.
Yeah.
There's like fucking good evidence that they're a scumbag and they shouldn't be allowed to work in a certain fucking... I'm saying this to Mr. Badger, I can't believe this.
Yeah.
They're a scumbag and they probably shouldn't work in a certain industry.
Yeah.
In your case, any industry that requires a CRP check.
I do have a license to entertain, just not within 20 metres of a school. I had a gun license as well until I left that gun on that recent Hollywood shoot, and doesn't speak to me now.
Is that the gun you found on the floor in Plymouth?
No. I thought I lent him one full of blanks, you know, and he accidentally shot a woman to death. So, sorry. Hope your career gets better, mate. So, yeah.
When you're loading guns up with blanks, did you make sure your mask didn't slip slightly over your eyes?
No, I can't read. So, I put all my bullets into one big box, and it's just... It's a look at the drawer, isn't it? Mr. Baldwin.
Mr. Baldwin, yes.
Yeah.
Poor fucker.
No, not really, still rich. He's not dead. She's dead.
Do you think we'll ever get to see the film?
I've seen advanced showings and it was a tough wank, if I'm honest.
Fucking hell. That's not the film, that's like, if you did watch a film like that, that's the snuff movie that someone filmed on the set, which is probably just leaked.
Yeah, she did leak. Straight through her chest.
Fucking hell.
So, would you say that a list of that sense ever profits somebody?
It could do. So if somebody wants to put certain names on a list and they're a business rival, somebody that they rival with in terms of getting work, and that person then doesn't get work from a certain set of people, then they could profit quite easily from it.
How about the people on the list as well? Because there's talk of comedians that are the only right-wing comedian on the circuit who actively go out of their way to offend because they know that it's a small niche market, and the more of those people they can get under their blanket, the better for them.
It's the old adage, isn't it, Mr. Badger? All press is good press, even if it's fucking bad press.
I can tell you that is not true. There is certainly bad press that will mean you don't get to work on the BBC ever again. Oh, fucking. I denied all responsibility. I was just watching. I didn't do anything.
See, that's the difference between journalism and a list, though. A list happens behind the scenes. You won't usually see the list because it will get sent to people that you could get work with.
Yeah.
However, a journalist can write something, it's printed, and you see that, and you know exactly what they're reporting on and exactly what words they use.
Yeah.
And usually they'll use evidence like pictures of things that may have happened, Mr. Badger.
My lump.
To be honest with you, if your walk was on a fucking lineup with a bunch of other people, any victim would be able to just point out your walk and be like, that's the seeping pus mound.
My genitals are quite noticeable in a lineup of other genitals.
Do you still have balls?
No, it's one mound. It's amalgamated.
What a beautiful
It's a
word
giant-
to describe something so fucking horrific.
should say about these lists and whatnot, do they serve a good purpose? Like, you know, not every list is bad, is it? But are you saying that a good list is official? A good list will be put out to the public? Yeah.
A public register, so sex offenders register, that could be construed as an official list.
It's not.
And that
it's lies. It's all lies. They make it up when they're jealous because you've got a new show, you're replacing Pat Sharp. Pat Sharp's not happy. So he superimposes a couple of... You might have been pissed, she might have been 14, you don't know. But he takes the pictures anyway. And he sends them up. Next thing you know, Mr. Badger's Super Fun Factory is fucking cancelled.
Fucking hell, down the bin with knocking shop.
Yeah, bastards.
Oh, well... Yeah, that sucks. Because
She did? She did?
Fucking hell!
I don't know how she knew what she was doing. I think she had mental issues as well. It was tricky to get out of a wheelchair, you know.
Oh my god.
What?
You can't.
They all need love.
Jesus Christ!
But so, I say, like, going back to the final point then we should make, a list's a good thing or a bad thing or a mixture of both?
It's a double-edged sword, so it's a mixture of both, basically.
Yeah.
I think unofficially done without evidence-based proceedings and without hearing from, obviously, because, you know, to get put a sex offenders register, you go through court, both your defence attorney and your prosecution, and then in your case, you didn't have a very good lawyer, which is a shame.
No, he was called fucking Bobby Bobski or something. He was shit. He just stood up and went, "Guilty, Your Honour, guilty."
You gotta get him on the show at some point.
I might have to get Bobby Bobski on.
A lawyering.
Yeah.
Come on to do a lawyering special.
Well, that was the thing. He didn't really know much about the legal system.
Half an hour of Ally McBeal, that's what it'll be.
He turned up in a pair of Crocs. I was, what the fuck?
You gotta keep them on their toes, you know what I mean? Turn up with a pair of Crocs.
You put them on your feet, not your toes. Yeah, so lists, they can be a valuable thing. They can be very, very important, but just watch how you're using them. Because I take it sometimes the people who create the list, if it's got invalid information used for nefarious deeds, they can end up in trouble.
They can. If it's traced back to those people, then there's a defamation. There's a lot of stuff like that. The problem is that those lists, it's very hard to work out who exactly is involved in the compilation of them.
Unless they leave their names on edits of the list. And they email people that are on the list because they forgot that they'd actually nominated them. And then when the list comes out, they all start blaming each other and going, "It wasn't me! Is that one? No, you did this bit. Oh yeah, I did, but it was your idea."
I love it how you use the word nominated for the list as if it's the fucking Midlands Comedy Awards.
Right, I fucking won. I was the biggest nonce. That's all that matters. Just to break the fourth wall, it is quite fun when people can't understand that I am not really a 65-year-old paedophile badger and all this is genuine. You're fucking idiots.
But it doesn't just happen in England. It happens in all over the country, like circuits all over the world. But it's a bunch of people. The strange thing is right. You get people who are very far on like different ends of the scale. So, like you say, people who are on the right.
Fat people. they struggle to get on the scale, don't they?
You've got the woke community and the anti-woke community, and I don't put myself in either of those two pens. But the woke community are more likely to make these lists. The anti-woke community are more likely to benefit from the lists, and it's weird because the anti-woke lot aren't gonna not book people for being, but they will. You know, they're both sides are as bad as each other. At the end of the day, they should all just fucking smoke a peace pipe.
Well, the main thing is, understand, especially when it comes to comedy is subjective, and just because you're offended by something and you don't like something doesn't mean you're right. Normally means you're no fun at parties and you should probably kill yourself. So,
Fucking hell.
no, but, you know, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and just because you don't like something doesn't give you the right to tell other people that they shouldn't like it.
Yeah.
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 And so on that note, would we say that cancellation is a thing?
Yes, I think cancellation is a thing, but it's not a big roaring fucking wall of flames Independence Day style comedy is fucking over soon because you can't laugh at anything anymore.
Can't say that.
You can't say that anymore. That's bullshit.
I'm
right?
living proof you fucking can, and you get booked.
Yeah.
The
Fact is there's different rooms for different people. If promoters have got a room that like edgy, more offensive comedy, there's a place for edgy and more offensive comedians.
Yeah.
Because that's an audience that'll appreciate it. Yeah, I'm not gonna put you on, Mr. Badger, at me, you know, me granny's birthday. I'll be surprised because she's dead now anyway.
Yeah, but,
you know, I won't put you on like a Nana's tea party.
No.
But, you know, a rough and tumble gig, definitely, you'd be alright on that.
It does seem odd though that there's always a chance that like you get onto these lists if you are like anti-woke, you know. But then you don't get the anti-woke going around making the list.
Yeah, you don't. Which is why it's like they capitalise on it as much as the woke lot do. But the anti-woke crew, I've never seen them compile a list of, oh, don't book these woke comedians because X, Y, and Z, or they've tried to cancel X, Y, and Z because they're not retaliating with the same level of fervour.
Yeah.
All they're doing is just taking this dumb shit fucking thing that they're doing and creating their own, taking advantage of it to create their own public presence. Like,
I think we should sort of like, I know we're not anti-woke, I know we are quite central when it comes to actual views. I think we should create our own list though, which would mainly, it'd feature a lot of woke comedians, which would just say, don't book these, they're not funny.
Fucking hell! I'll be honest with you, the more woke a comedian is, there does feel like sometimes there is a bit of a correlation when they concentrate too much on the politics of a particular thing. But then again, I've seen some very woke comedians who are very, very fucking funny. So.
Yeah. There's the odd one that can break the mould. It does seem to be so like, I don't know, but I've not come here for a lesson, you know. I've come here to laugh, I've come here to forget my life's troubles.
Yeah.
And I understand that what's happening on the stage is comedy, it's a fucking joke. It's like people that leave applause breaks, and I'm not talking laughter breaks, they leave a, well done, we fully agree.
Yeah. It's like a fucking TED talk.
Yeah.
I came here to have my opinion validated.
Yeah.
And now I know I'm not the only one that thinks that way, and I can go home and have a stranglehold.
Yeah, and they're more likely to get on the BBC even though they're not funny because they're like or something.
You can't say that, Mr. Badger.
Well, hopefully I'll see you next year as I've won Blacklist Comedy Blacklist 2021. It's been lovely night here, Timmy. Have you got anything you want to plug while we're here?
In the middle of the Nottingham Comedy Festival, just had Comedy Zoo with you on last night. Full house, they absolutely fucking loved you.
I headlined.
Yeah, you did a fantastic job. They were tears of joy as opposed to other kinds of tears. Tonight we've got Sam Serrano, and then tomorrow we've got Frasco Falls. So don't even try and pronounce it.
No.
But yeah, we've got a lot of good stuff going on. And Midlands Comedy Awards. If you've seen John Pearson MC and you've seen me MC and you still vote for me, you need your fucking head checking because I'm shit.
And all you open mic spots that keep on nominating each other, just fucking, we're not going to book you, we know you're shit. So stop it. So, have we got anything in the future you'd like to put?
We've got
Rock Central.
Yeah, Rock Central. We've got a new venue in Derby, which is the Hairy Dog, which is it's really fucking nice, 100-seater venue. So we're trying to fill that out as like it started it off as like a new material night, very much like NCF in Nottingham, and then we've got some good acts on. We've got Tom Taylor coming up in December, and we've got Freddie Quinn the
I
next
like
year
Freddie
in January. And
Check out Pigoted Podcast if you get the chance. He does some very interesting discussions on there.
then we've got Simon Wozniak in February. So.
I fucking love Simon.
Yeah. Oh, and Rod Mulholland's doing the Embankment in Nottingham on the 17th of February as well. Very exciting.
Rob Mulholland is one of my favourite comedians. So check out Rock Central Promotions. Thank you for coming on the show, Timmy. You're a lovely man. And I hope to see you on another list again one day. Bye-bye. Take it back to the podcast.
Bye-bye.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that one as much as we did. That was a good bit there on being blacklisted or cancelled, as they call it nowadays. If you'd like to see more of this, please follow me on Facebook. And also, if you could help me out by giving this a share, showing it to your friends and things like that, and rating it where you can. Right, so anyway, we'll hopefully be back next week. I think next week it's we're having question time. So is that all right for you, Tommy?
Okay.